Local support for News 6 has been provided by the Northwest Ohio Educational Technology Foundation, Bowling Green State University, and the members of WBGU-TV.
Hi! We're the 6th graders from Hamler Elementary, home of the Patriots. Welcome to News 6.
Hi, I'm Susan Van Deelen from Hamler Elementary. Welcome to News 6. We have Chris Teege in the studio with our first story.
Thank you, Susan. I can't see that. We go in our first story to Myra and Walter Orthwine's home, which is filled with many objects of love that they have made themselves. Walter Orthwine also invented the first motor-powered lawnmower.
How did you come up with the idea of a power lawnmower?
Well, I got tired of pushing one, and I had a few parts around, but I had to go to the junkyard to get some more so I could make something so it would pull itself.
What exactly became of your idea?
Well, it lost out after the company started making lawnmowers just practically like ours, and they had the most money to work with than I did. I didn't have that much to go on. So that's the way we lost out. But I had the first one.
Will you tell us about some of your other inventions?
Well, I don't know what you'd call them really inventions or not, but I did quite a little bit of woodwork that is different than I'd seen around. For instance, like that table over there, that to make a thing like that without a pattern takes quite a bit of doing. And of course the, what do you call it, the scales there on the cocktail table, that she was scared I'd break the corners off of her fancy dishes there, but I didn't.
This News 6 is produced by the 6th grade class of Hamler Elementary. Hamler is located in Henry County, which is in the northwestern part of WBGU TV coverage area. Hamler has a population of 625 and was founded in the 1850s.
If you pass through Hamler on State Route 18, you will pass Bishop's Abattoir, a slaughterhouse. They slaughter, clean, process, and pack meat. Our community appreciates all the work they do to provide us with fresh, delicious meat.
Could you tell us what abattoir means?
Yes, when we built this building, instead of making a word slaughterhouse, we looked it up and it's a French word for slaughterhouse.
What got you interested in this and what kind of training do you need?
Father was in business for 40 years here in town. I've grown up with it all my life. I went to Ohio State University. I had 2 courses in sausage making and meat preparation as far as making bologna and summer sausage. And for me, it's been more or less of an on-the-job training than than going to school to learn.
Will you explain to us the various cuts of meat?
Start with a side of beef, and you break it down. You break out your chuck portion, which is cut into roast and steaks, and you have a rib portion, which you cut just into steaks. Then you have your plate meat, which is trimmings for ground beef. That's on your front quarter. Then your hind quarter, you break it in 3 pieces and you start cutting steaks. And it's the hind quarters, mainly all steaks, a few trimmings for ground beef.
What are some of the things you must do to follow state food laws and regulations?
We're under the Ohio Department of Agriculture. We're 100% inspected. We have an inspector here, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and he watches the meats that we prepare and cut, make sure everything has to be labeled properly, and and sanitation. That's probably the main thing.
We have a dream corner in our school. It began when we wrote to famous persons we admire, asking them for their shoes so we could walk in their shoes. On Kids View, we found out whose shoes some of us got.
We started a dream corner and wrote to famous people that we admired so we could walk in their shoes. Sarah, to whom did you write?
I wrote to Bob Heft, who designed a 50-star flag when he was in high school.
Mike, whose shoes did you get?
I got the professional golfer shoes, Tom Kite.
Megan, who'd you write to?
I wrote to John Bowie, who's an author, a sculptor, and a good storyteller. He sends this shirt from a writing conference he attended.
Thank you. This is Nancy Giesge signing off for Kids View.
In our last story, we interviewed Miss Boomgarden about the 2 things she liked best, working with children and bowling. Moose Boomgarden is a retired teacher who works in our school on a voluntary basis.
What made you come back as a volunteer teacher, and what do you like best about your job?
I always loved working with children, helping them to achieve and become good citizens of our United States. So when I heard about this intervention program here at school, well, that was something that interested me, because teaching has always been my happiness, working with boys and girls.
Would you compare the students you taught earlier with the ones you teach now?
When I began teaching here, I had 50 in the 1st grade. And the children were certainly different then than they are now. At that time, the children didn't have TV, and they didn't have Nintendo, and they had parents at home. The homes were different then than they are now, and that helped to make the children different.
We know you don't come in on Friday mornings. What keeps you away?
Now, you really don't know that. Well, I go bowling on Friday mornings. I bowl in a bowling league in Napoleon. And on Wednesday evenings, I bowl in a bowling league here in Hamler. And so that's why the kids' room is not open for business on Friday morning.
Bye now for Hamler Elementary. See you next week with the 6th graders of Toth Elementary, Perrysburg.
Local support for News 6 has been provided by the Northwest Ohio Educational Technology Foundation, Bowling Green State University, and the members of WBGU-TV.